Welcome to my class. Today we will discuss about demand, demand function, law of demand and exceptions to the law of demand. First, let us define the term demand. Demand is nothing but it is the desire for the commodity backed by the purchasing power of the commodity. So, demand is the desire to consume a commodity backed by purchasing power. So effective demand means the consumer must have desire for the commodity and he must also have the purchasing power to purchase that commodity. So effective demand equals to desire for commodity plus purchasing power of the commodity. Now let us come to the next term, that is demand function. What is demand function? An individual demand for any commodity per time period depends upon various factors like price of the commodity, price of related commodities, income of the consumer, taste and preferences of the consumer, and expected future price of the commodity. So, if we take into account all these factors and if these are the independent factors and the quantity demanded is the dependent factor, we can have a functional relationship between demand and the factors on which it depends. So, let us write this thing. Individual demand for any commodity say X per time period depends on number one, price of the commodity. Number two, prices of related commodities. Number three, income of the consumer. Number four, tastes and preferences of the consumer. And number five, expected price of the commodity in future. Now, if we write these things in a functional form, the demand function can be written as demand for commodity X equals to function of Px. It is the price of the commodity, price of related commodities, that is PR. Y is the income of the consumer, T is the tastes and preferences of the consumer, and price expected in future is PE. So these are the factors on which demand depends. Here, this is the dependent variable and these all are the independent variables. Now let us explain these factors. Price of the commodity. For any normal commodity, if price of the commodity increases, the quantity demanded of the commodity decreases and vice versa. Number 2, price of related commodities. Commodities are related in two ways, that is, they either may be substitute commodities or they may be complementary commodities. For substitute commodities, let's say tea or coffee, if price of tea increases, the consumption of tea will decrease and people who drank tea will shift to consumption of coffee. So if price of tea increases, demand for coffee increases also, as the demand for tea will decrease. If these are complementary commodities, let's say pen and refill, if price of pen increases, demand for pen will decrease and the demand for the refill will also decrease. So for complementary commodities, if price of one commodity increases, the demand for that commodity as well as the demand for the related commodity decreases, and vice versa. Next is income of the consumer. For any normal commodity, if income of the consumer increases, the quantity demanded increases and vice versa. Tastes and preferences of the consumer. And obviously demand for a commodity will depend upon the taste and preference of the consumer. Expected price of the commodity in future. Let's say if I assume that price of a commodity will increase in future, today I will increase my demand for that commodity so that in future when price increases I may sell it and earn a gain. So this is the demand function. In real life situation, it is difficult to isolate the effects of all factors on demand of X, as they tend to influence jointly if we assume that all the independent factors except price of the commodity, that is Px, remain constant. This condition is known as the ceteris paribus condition, or it means other things remaining unchanged. then the demand function can be written as demand function can be written as dx equals to function of price, অর্থাৎ demand for a commodity is the function of price given all the other factors remain constant or the ceteris paribus condition holds good. So if we have a demand schedule, here we have a demand schedule. A demand schedule shows that at every price point what is the total demand. If price is 40 rupees per kg, my demand for the commodity X is 1 kg. If it decreases to 35, then the demand is 2. Then it is easy. If it is 30, it is 4. As the price grows on decreasing, the quantity demanded goes on increasing. This is nothing but the law of demand. Now if we plot these figures into graph, for price 40, demand is 1 unit. Demand 1 unit and price 40. For 2 units of demand, the price is 35, or when the price falls to 35, demand is 2 units. When the price falls to 30, demand is 4 units. When the price falls to 25, demand is 6 units. And when the price falls to rupees 20, demand is 10 units. So if we join these points, we get a curve which is known as the demand curve. Let us join these points. So DD is the demand curve which shows that at different price points what is the quantity demanded. We see as the price decreases, the quantity demanded increases. So this is the law of demand. So the law of demand can be written as if other factors affecting demand remain constant and price is the only variable factor, then price and quantity demanded of a commodity move in opposite direction. That is, when price increases, demand decreases, and vice versa. That is, when price decreases, demand increases. There are two forces or two factors behind this law of demand. Two factors behind this law of demand. What are those two factors? One is income effect, another is substitution effect. So, when price decreases, the real income of the consumer increases, as because for the same income he will be able to purchase more of the commodity, so his real income increases, and that's why the demand for the commodity increases. This is known as the income effect. And again, there is substitution effect. What is substitution effect? If price of the commodity decreases, people tend to decrease their consumption of other high value commodities and increase their consumption of this commodity. This is the substitution effect. So, demand effect is a sum total of income effect and substitution effect. Now let us discuss the exceptions to the law of demand. What are the exceptions? If the commodity in question has a snob value or it has a show off value. Number one, snob or show off value. Show off value. Let us say the commodity in question is a rare diamond. So it has a snob value or show off value, or people would like to show off this particular commodity. So in this situation, if the price increases, the demand will also increase as it has a snob value. Next, there is the bandwagon effect. What is the bandwagon effect? Sometimes people try to show that they belong to a particular social class. Belonging to a social class. Let's say if playing golf is fashionable among successful businessmen, then a businessman would purchase golf balls if its price increases in order to show that he is a successful businessman. Number 3, the opposite is seen in case of poor class commodity. People tend to show off that he is no longer poor. So if price of a particular or a typical poor class commodity decreases, its demands also decreases, and people will tend to buy richer class commodities in order to show that he is no longer poor. So this is also one of the exceptions to the law of demand. Number 4, if the commodity occupies insignificant position in the consumer's budget, if the commodity has insignificant position in consumers budget, then it may also defy the law of demand. For example, if let's say the price of salt increases, people will not decrease their consumption of salt, or if price of salt decreases, people will not increase their consumption of salt, because salt is very low cost commodity, and if its price increases, it will have lesser effect on its demand. So if it occupies an insignificant position in the consumer's budget, that commodity will defy the law of demand, or when price increases, demand may not decrease, or when price decreases, demand may not increase. Next, if the commodity is object of speculation, let's say shares. So when price of a share increases, people expect that its price will increase in future and its demand increases. So in case of shares or a speculative commodity, the price and quantity demanded has a positive relationship, or it defies the law of demand. Then last but not the least, there is the Giffen effect. What is Giffen effect? Sir Robert Giffen observed that if price of a typical poor class commodity decreases, demand for this commodity will decrease too, and people will tend to increase their expenditure on richer class commodities. For example, let's say there are two commodities, meat and potato. Potato is a poor class commodity and meat is a richer class commodity. So when price of potato decreases, people will decrease their demand for potato and try to purchase richer class commodity, that is meat, with the excess income they have due to the decrease in price of potato. So this is the Giffen effect, which also defies the law of demand. So in all these cases of exceptions, the demand curve will be upward rising. Normally, the demand curve we have drawn from our example is downward sloping, and for those commodities which defy the law of demand, the demand curve will be upward rising, opposite to this. So this is all for today. If you like my class, please subscribe to my channel, like my video and share my video. Thank you.